Well, the Queen will be remembered for many things, including her overwhelming love for Corgis, of which she owned more than 30 during her reign.
A dying queen for beloved dogs and a royal family so fractured that even the most innocent creatures got caught in the crossfire. This is not the story the palace told you. This is not the carefully packaged press release, the curated Instagram post, or the sanitized version designed to make a disgraced prince look like a loving son. This is the real story of what happened to Queen Elizabeth's Corgis, the dogs she loved more than some of her own children, the dogs she made secret arrangements for in her final months, and the dogs who were ultimately used as props in a royal PR operation that has never fully been exposed. By the time this video is over, you will understand why the palace went silent, why a perfectly healthy young corgi died under suspicious circumstances, why the woman who promised to care for them quietly stopped posting about them, and why the one surviving dog ended up somewhere very different from where the world was told it would be. Stay with me because this story is more heartbreaking and more infuriating than anything you've read in the tabloids. Why these dogs were everything to the Queen. To understand the full weight of what happened, you first have to understand what these corgis actually meant to Queen Elizabeth II. This wasn't a hobby. This wasn't some eccentric royal quirk that made for good photographs. This was a 70-year love affair, arguably the most consistent, unconditional relationship of her entire life. It started on her 18th birthday in 1944. Her parents gave her a Pembroke Welsh Corgi named Susan. That dog changed everything. From that single gift, the Queen built a dynasty. Not just a royal dynasty, but a Corgi dynasty. Over the next 7 decades, she would own more than 30 corgis. And here is the detail that makes your jaw drop. Almost every single one of them was descended from Susan. That first dog, gifted to an 18-year-old princess who had no idea she would one day be the longest reigning monarch in British history, became the mother of a royal bloodline that spanned 3 generations of queens and outlasted prime ministers, presidents, and world wars. But numbers don't capture it. The relationship between Queen Elizabeth and her corgis was personal in a way that very few people outside the palace walls ever truly grasped. She fed them herself, not via footmen, not through the elaborate system of royal staff that handled everything from her wardrobe to her correspondence. She fed her dogs personally from silver bowls according to a very specific routine she had developed over decades. She knew each dog's preferences, each dog's temperament, each dog's quirks. She walked them in the palace gardens. She designed a specific corgi room at Buckingham Palace. She brought them on royal tours. They appeared in official portraits. When the photographer Annie Leibovitz came to shoot the Queen in 2007, the corgis were there, not as accessories, but as companions. Now, here's where it gets really telling. When Prince Philip, her husband of 73 years, died in April 2021, the world watched a queen grieve alone. Co-restrictions meant she sat by herself at his funeral, masked, isolated, a tiny figure in a vast chapel. It was one of the most heartbreaking images of her entire reign. But what kept her going in those dark months after Philip's death? According to multiple palace sources, it was her dogs. They slept in her bedroom. They sat beside her during meals. They followed her from room to room at Windsor Castle. A former palace insider described